What is up, XRP community? Welcome back to another video. Thank you for joining me. I want to talk about some updates on Gary Gensler, an SEC ruling, and some XRP whale movements. And at the end of the video, I have a good clip of Brad Garlinghouse on Bloomberg television. But first off, guys, if you haven't been paying attention, Solana is like Ethereum, but with a lot faster transactions and lower fees. And people have been making killing over there. I want to make a preface here, a disclaimer. Think of these meme coins as like a casino. There was a coin called Bonk that went viral recently. It's done a 10,000x this year. Keep in mind, these kind of meme coins, it's pure speculation, and you got to go into your investment there, assuming you're going to lose all your money. Here, this trader hit a $2 million jackpot after putting in $60. The token was called Silly. The guy cashed out 500K, and that's a good lesson for everyone. When you do have massive gains in returns, it's always smart to pay yourself. But if you guys are more on the degenerate side and you like to gamble, I would be looking at Solana meme coins because people have been doing very well over there. Bitcoin miners reduce their Bitcoin holdings as the miner price nears 65K. Since mid-October, Bitcoin miners have been reducing their Bitcoin balances. In 24 hours on December 28th, the Bitcoin balance in miner wallets declined by 700 Bitcoin versus a local top on October 22nd. Bitcoin miner balances are down 12,700. So we could deduce from this that these miners are speculating on a price correction. We have the Bitcoin ETFs coming up pretty soon here on January 10th. January 10th is the ruling date for the Bitcoin ETFs. And I've been saying this is a buy the rumor, sell the news event. I think a lot of the reason that we saw Bitcoin and other altcoins surge over the past few months is because people are speculating that this Bitcoin ETF is going to get approved and Bitcoin and all of crypto is just going to go to the moon. I think it's kind of like the Coinbase IPO. Everyone thought that would pump up Bitcoin, and it did leading up to the event. But when Coinbase actually went public, what happened to the price? It went down. So if I had to bet, I would bet that this is a buy the rumor, sell the news event. And these Bitcoin miners obviously are probably pretty knowledgeable people, and they are selling their Bitcoin. U.S. judge sides with the SEC in Terraform Labs case over unregistered securities. And what's interesting here is that they're calling a stable coin a security. Which is interesting because a security is something you expect a return on your investment. In this case, it's a stable coin. So how could you expect a return on an investment in a stable coin when the price is designed to be stable? Ripple head lawyer chimed in. He says, I have no firm view on the merits of this case, but here are a couple thoughts on yesterday's ruling. Facts matter. Judge Rakoff does not criticize, let alone even cite Judge Torres' Ripple ruling. The SEC's forever crypto ground war, fighting token by token in lengthy litigation, is a fool's errand driven by a quest for political power over sound policy. Jeremy Hogan, also another lawyer and community member in the XRP community, chimed in and says, how can a stablecoin be a security? How can you buy something pegged to $1 and expect profit from it? What I was just saying. Per Judge Rakoff in the SEC Terraform Labs case, a stablecoin is a security when you can stake it for a return on investment. So if you don't know much about Terra Luna, essentially you could stake your stablecoins and get 20% APY, which that alone should have been a red flag to many people. And so they're kind of doing a workaround manipulative ruling saying a stablecoin, because you can stake it and return an investment, that's expecting profit. XRP is looking good on the chart right here, guys. Talked about this yesterday, how XRP is staying above this crucial support level here in the low 60-cent range, and we have a good bounce off that range. We're in a wedge right now, and it's either going to break up or break down. In my opinion, I do think it's going to break towards the upside. But if Bitcoin does tumble in these next few weeks, few months, I would expect XRP to be correlated to that as well. Guys, this is a reminder to always have a cold storage wallet. I recommend Ledger if you want to support me and protect your crypto better. They also give you a little free Bitcoin for getting a Ledger wallet. You can find Ledger in the video description below. This guy lost 275,000 Link tokens, $4.4 million. If Link does 10x, which in the next bull run I think Chainlink will, that would be 44 million. So just another reminder to get a Ledger wallet. If you don't have one, you can find it in the video description below. And if you want $41 in free stock, sign up with Webull, deposit a penny. You're guaranteed $41 in free stock shares. You can sell those and get some more XRP if you want. Check out Webull in the video description below. So what are these XRP whales doing? They're going on a shopping spree. It's the holiday season, right? In a post on X, crypto analyst Ali Martinez revealed that XRP whales had recently bought around 360 million XRP, amounting to $223 million. Such development is usually positive, as it signifies that these investors are doubling down on their XRP holdings in anticipation of a price surge. It's always good to see smart money, these big whales, accumulating a token that you hold. And the SEC comes out and they say they deeply regret errors in crypto case, and they ask the judge to waive sanctions after misleading statements. Attorneys for the SEC apologized to a judge on Thursday for misrepresenting facts used to secure a restraining order and asset freeze against a crypto firm. Quote, I fully appreciate the extraordinary responsibility entrusted to the SEC when enforcing federal securities laws. I understand that the division fell short on these standards in the case, and I apologize for that. The rare rebuke of the agency stemmed from litigation filed by the SEC against crypto firm Digital Licensing Inc. So if the SEC did this and misrepresented facts, what do you think they possibly could have done in the Ripple case? Take a listen to this clip here, XRP and NASDAQ.
And, this guy sells it to that guy. That's essentially, what the stock exchange does. So if you can have a common ledger to be able to exchange those IOUs at, then that certainly makes sense. And there's examples of Korean banks partnering with local, Bitcoin companies for the settlement. People like the IMF or World Bank or these kind of people are always talking about these sort of blockchain settlement systems. NASDAQ is involved in I think, doing some trials with Ripple as well. So
NASDAQ, the second largest exchange, managing $20 trillion in exchanges, testing products with Ripple, okay? Not many blockchain companies can say that, and this is just one of the numerous partnerships that Ripple has. This guy speculates XRP overnight will become the most demanded crypto in the world. That's speculation, but what is not speculation? That in the future, 95% of cryptos will not be here. The ones that will remain are the ones that have product market fit. XRP does that. It solves real problems. BlackRock just dropped its updated S1, and it does name the APs Jane Street and JP Morgan, which is kind of ironic. These guys will basically be holding custody of the BlackRock ETF when it gets approved. And why is it ironic that JP Morgan is the authorized participant? Zero Hedge says, so Jamie Dimon, who was called Bitcoin a hyped up fraud, worse than tulips, etc., is going to be the authorized participant for the biggest Bitcoin ETF, soon to be approved by the SEC and run by the Federal Reserve's shadow money manager. Just another example that these elites, a lot of these big investment managers, will lie to you and then do the opposite of their words just to get better entry prices. If you guys need a spot to get XRP or Ripple or other cryptos, I recommend Uphold. They have a good bonus, and if you guys sign up with Uphold and buy XRP, I do believe they give you some free crypto, so check out Uphold in the video description below. And I want to leave you with this clip with Brad Garlinghouse on Bloomberg Television.
David, some say Ripple could be the next Bitcoin. What do you think, Brad? Is that a compliment that Ripple could be the next Bitcoin?
Well, I think if we're solving a real problem and it's at scale, then I think it's a compliment. I think the most important thing that is going on in crypto is understanding what is real and what is just hype. Some, I think, may look back on Bitcoin and find that it was the Napster of digital assets. What I mean by that is Napster was the first to digitize music and demonstrate, hey, if you digitize music, you can do a lot of cool things with that. But ultimately, they were circumventing trademark laws, they were circumventing royalty payments, and government stepped in, and Napster was not successful. But Spotify, iTunes, Pandora, they were very successful. I think what you'll find is that maybe the next generation of digital assets ends up solving some of the original problems that Bitcoin set out to solve.
So RippleNet is trying to take on Swift. What's been the traction like? Who's come on board?
Well, it's interesting as you step back and look at this. If you and I decided we were going to send $10,000 to California today, the fastest way for us to do it would be to drive to the airport and fly it there. That's a crazy thing to think about when you're in the age of the internet and we're used to information on demand. When we think about the customers that have come on board, it's because we're solving that real problem. We're changing the nature of a payment taking days to settle to California to seconds. So we now have well over 100 customers ranging from some of the biggest banks in the world to payment providers to the Western Unions and MoneyGrams, Linlan Pay out of China.
How many banks?
It's over 100. I actually don't know the exact number now. Last time we announced it publicly, we said over 100. We'll probably announce the next one when we get to over 200. We're signing up more than a bank a week now.
The thing is, it's not the number of banks. It's the volume
for sure
out there. What kind of volume are you looking at?
Well, we've had one that we could talk publicly about is we have one corridor run by SEB, which is one of the first or second largest bank in Sweden, has done over $1 billion USD equivalent through one corridor. So while on the global macro scale, we're still just getting started. I think we're on mile 1 of a marathon, but we've crossed that starting line. Like, this is real activity in production systems where customers are really benefiting from that. We clearly have a long way to go, and the overall maturity of the digital asset market, I think, has a long way to go. But if we keep going back to let's focus on a real problem and solve a real problem for real customers, I'm really optimistic.
You have several products. We talked about the system, RippleNet. You also have a digital token, which is the XRP. How's the XRP doing? Because we saw it surge 1,300%.
Right. So XRP actually was the best performing digital asset in 2017. It was up, I think, something like 25,000%. The excitement around digital assets is because I think you're solving a real problem. And I think one of the things you saw happen, particularly last December, is there's understandably concern about regulation and what does that mean for digital assets. From the get-go, Ripple has worked with regulators, and we have worked with regulated institutions like banks where there isn't regulatory uncertainty. And so we have found that part of the reason why XRP has performed well is because people realize, hey, wait a minute, back to your question, is XRP the next Bitcoin? If we work with the system to solve this problem, and we can solve that problem at scale, a problem measured in the trillions of dollars, then there's a lot of opportunity to create value in XRP.
But how can there be clarity on regulation when different countries are adopting different strategies when it comes to regulation? And the other thing as well is volatility. I mean, why use a cryptocurrency when it's so volatile right now?
Yeah. So look, it's a really important question. I think there's a lot of misinformation out there. I've kind of jokingly suggested that when people talk about regulatory uncertainty, it's often people because they don't like the regulation. They're not actually regulatory uncertainty. If you think about a XRP transaction from one regulated financial institution, a bank or a payment provider, they're doing what's called a KYC check, which references Know Your Customer. There's a global regulatory framework around KYC. That's at both endpoints of an XRP transaction, into and out of. So I think the regulatory certainty actually is much better than people realize. It's just educating banks, regulators about how it actually works. Now, the volatility point is also a good one. XRP has clearly been volatile, as all digital assets have been. The nature of how an XRP transaction works, though, it's 1,000 times faster than Bitcoin. So the volatility risk you're taking around XRP is only for 3 seconds. So the volatility risk ends up being very, 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 very small because it's so fast.
For XRP, you've been looking at banks. If you take a longer-term period, who else are you targeting for XRP? What would make sense?
Well, I think any payment provider, we're really trying to solve that cross-border payment transaction. So if you're going, we talked earlier about the U.S. dollar to the Mexican peso. It's one of the corridors we have live with XRP today. You can hold a U.S. dollar, sell that dollar, and buy XRP. In 3 seconds, you can move that XRP to Mexico and then sell the XRP and buy the Mexican peso. Whether you're a bank, a payment provider, eventually even corporates can take advantage of a dramatic decrease in cost and a dramatic increase in speed and how those transactions work.
All right, Brad, we have to live it there. The first mile in a marathon. Brad Garlinghouse, CEO of Ripple.